So Alexander, all this is very, very interesting. And, I've been thinking since taking your class in February, I guess my question is, how did you come to this idea? How did this all get started?
Oh. I told you that in general, this, just looking a little bit historical, it came from kind of my childhood admiration of natural sciences and mathematics, and later from my professional life. But the moment I had kind of epiphany is very interesting how it started. Once I've been in Moscow, it was January of 1988, previous millennium. It was January of 1988 in Moscow. It was winter with a lot of snow, and one of my friends took me to a lecture about UFOs. And when I was kind of ready to get out of that building, an old lady, I saw that she wants to ask me some question. I wouldn't go how it happened, why she would decide to ask me this strange question. But I saw that this old lady, maybe in 50s, that she definitely wants to ask me something. And I asked her, do you want to talk to me or ask something? And she said a strange thing. She said, my husband, with whom I lived all my life, he passed away 3 months ago. And I want to know if I ever will see him again. In other words, she was asking me a question about afterlife. And I understood that she could go to a church and she understands that over there she will have an answer. But for some reason, she decided to ask me this question. And I had this strange feeling that probably I could say her something, but I needed to gain some time. So I asked her, who was her late husband? And she said, my husband was high school teacher of physics. And I said, could you tell me something about him? Could you give me some story? And she told me a story about his interaction. It was an interesting episode about him interacting with students, with other teachers. And while she was speaking, I felt that I have something to tell her. And I told her exactly what I was feeling at that moment of time. I said to her, I told her, you told me that your husband has died 3 months ago. But right at this minute, your husband helped me to answer the question, what is the purpose of human life? Because when those events in school were happening, he impacted his students, and in telling you about the story, he impacted you. And during our conversation, you impacted me. And I think that the purpose of life is to create this chain of positive impact. So definitely your husband is not here. But do you understand that he gave me this help right now? And that lady started to cry. Because she saw that I'm absolutely sincere. And that I say absolutely true thing. Of course, when she was speaking to me, it was not only impact of her late husband, because when she was telling me about her late husband, I saw in my kind of internal view a few very good teachers I had. So I knew that the good teacher, he is giving something to students, not logically by giving topic by topic, but to showing to those students how he likes, how he loves what he's talking about. So this idea about creating a chain of consequences was kind of coming to my mind together with those previous experience. Moreover, about a month before this conversation, somebody told me that my textbook of geometry, which I was studying in 20th century, obviously, actually was almost directly following the book written about 3rd century BC, I'm not sure, but Euclid, it was mathematician, Greek mathematician Euclid. He wrote the book called Beginnings. And my school textbook was following what Euclid was writing centuries and centuries and centuries ago. This was another example of this long-term consequences. So after that conversation, I had feelings that I understand what is the meaning of life. So at that moment, my formulation was like this, that despite we all ending existence, we could create this long, long, long wave of positive consequences. Moreover, our own life is the result of those long-term consequences. Maggie, did I impact you now? Did I?
Yes, of course, especially with your ideas, and to have a solid purpose of life has definitely impacted me. Yes.
But do you understand that now the impact of that teacher through his wife and through me, now maybe to some small extent, I don't know how big is the impact, but to small extent, it is now continuing in you.
It's a chain.
So that teacher who died long, long ago now has this continuation, maybe small continuation even in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this interesting story?
Yes, it reminds me of, forgive me if maybe it's not word for word, but it's, you only die once people have forgotten your name. It's like you don't, until the last memory of you is.
No, I think it goes much further than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because neither me nor you, we don't know the name of that person. We never met him.
Mm-hmm.
We never met Euclid. But I think that if you study geometry, there's a good chance that structure of that book of geometry is also from Euclid.
Mhm.
Or you were studying theorem of Pythagoras.
Mhm.
So he impacted, maybe you didn't like, I don't know, was mathematics your favorite?
No, I was much more into philosophy and history.
Okay, but you took philosophy before, right?
Mhm.
Okay, we will talk about this next time.
Sure.